that what the boogeyman does? Jeez, it's more terrifying than I thought. But yeah. Here we go. Luminosity Gaming going to be starting things off with a Mimikyu ban. So clearly, LG doing their homework, watching the matches previous, does not want Muck putting on a 130k damage game 2 matches in a row, but it will be that Ceruledge ban yet again from the EKittens. This Pokemon been on ban notice. Two snacks, that is another Mimikyu Slowbro banning phase, meaning that Charizard first pick could not be more clear.
Yep, and that's where Luminosity went last time. Are they going to switch it up? Oh, I was going to say, no way they're going to give JL Hoopa right off the rip. Curios locks in Charizard instantly. No worries. That means the chat at least has the opportunity for a premier support choice. CSE on Umbreon again. I mean, why switch it up? They've been winning games.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I don't envy EKittens in that situation, right? Do we ban Overlord's Blaziken, or do we ban Curios's Charizard? I mean, these are difficult decisions that you have to come to, but I don't think that option that they went with is necessarily the worst. So we're going to run it up with the Charizard. Joey's going to return to the Mamoswine. So predicting Muck to be on some kind of more mobility-based top path Pokemon, I'm most likely trying to Ice Fang down whatever target shows up there.
Yeah, it's a good adjustment out of Luminosity and really showing that Joey's been kind of studying the Eastern VODs that we have, as they are big on the Mamoswine, and Joey is falling into that camp as well. How are the Kittens going to adjust with Metagross and Pikachu, which means this is a great opportunity for Overall, I was going to say, to go Blue Shifu, and that's exactly where they end up.
Oof, I'm with that Urshifu lock-in. I have to imagine Sobi switches up the playstyle of the Pikachu from last game that we saw them on into this one. I have to imagine you go with the Volt Tackle build. Just something to slow down that Urshifu. It does have full heal, so Overlord will be able to negate at least one of those combos, but the hope is that maybe you can dodge a few of them. I imagine Can't Stop Him will also be returning to the mean look. Umbreon, well, Banzo returning to a tournament favorite, at least so far from tonight. It will be the return of the Absol.
I'm taking a look at this Urshifu, and CSE, you know, the problem with this foul play that we saw Joey play last time, right, when Luminosity was in a similar type situation to kind of stun and then close the door, I don't know if there's... You know what? It can work. I mean, mean look or foul play can work here. It's really going to depend on EKitten's communication. I was going to kind of follow down a rabbit hole, but I just think I was going to be wrong. I think you can go either way. Mean look is going to require just great communication, and foul play even more so, because you know who they're trying to stun down, right? They're trying to cut off Curios from engagements, and they're certainly trying to slow down Overlord.
Yeah. No, you're totally right. And now I'm starting to see the foul play waves a little bit more on this Umbreon. A lot of high attack damage stat Pokemon on the other side. One part of foul play is that it works like it does in VGC, where it will do additional damage the more the target's attack stat is built up. So, hey, if they stack a lot, maybe Umbreon can help bring your value back in the other direction. Not to mention, not a lot of Pokemon that really benefit off of a mean look on your own team. It would be more to just try and stop the other side. So, we'll see. Can this Charmander be stifled? I think it's going to be one of the main objectives that EKittens need to do. Curios's Charizard, obviously an extremely potent part of this composition. Charmander does struggle in the early game. Charmeleon's got moves, but Charmander does struggle. If that Absol can put on pressure early, maybe even Chad's Hoopa, you could slow them down. But JL, wise to Chad's tricks.
Yeah, and also actually sending the Swine up there to deflect just in case the invade happened from downstairs, right? So you send JL on a mission, okay, maybe we cut off Chad, or maybe you start doing your little own invade shenanigans. But Luminosity privy to all those games. Now CSE, relentless, getting there as a level 3 EV, gonna see what they can take, and that is going to be nothing. And now they're on the chopping block, and now that's a Blue Shifu, and now you're eating a lot of fists to the grill there, kid.
Yeah, adorable potion usage by Can't Stop Him as well, you know, just throw that out there. It'll be back. Hey, it's the best part, 30-second cooldown, you'll have it back immediately. Tough part is here, Overlord is arriving at this path at level 5, and that's a quick KO to the Hoopa.
Yep, and looking for a next one here. They've already gone back-to-back with 2. Banzo's looking for an opportunity, and that opportunity is stymied by the Swinub themselves, as Joey gets credit for that knockout. And we are working the Flux Zone, but what they did is they sent Bunnelbees down path. More experience for JL and Overlord to take easily. Sobi gonna get put in the blender. A-press down by JL for the spacing, and now we're getting healed up. Charmeleon didn't even have to get in the mix, Zoinks, and it's way past Charmander now. Luminosity has broken the breakpoint.
Yeah, feels like those first minute and a half was that early game window. We were hoping that EKittens squad would be able to hang a little bit tougher. Obviously, Beldum not going to be doing too much on the top end, but everywhere else. CSC does hit level 4, but they're going to have to just chase both these berries to try to slow down, as they will not get any more value. Overlord KOs before the second citrus is gone. Nice angle, but hey, finally, JL's invade shenanigans are brought down by Banzo.
And we already have the big stack of dirty laundry, the Pillow Swine, up for Joey. Already doing markedly better than last time. Overlord's just exposing themselves. Like, yeah, I'm right here. Whoever wants to pull up the smoke, we got it. Because I got an otter in the holster here. And the Chad tried to take whatever they could. Banzo goes to engage. Already at half HP, which means they're going to get folded the moment they step up. They peel back, and in the collateral is Sobi, who's just like, whoa, I thought we were doing something here. CSC goes in for the foul play, tries to dash him through. Banzo picks up a berry because somebody sneezed on him, and now they're getting buckled in the front line. Nobody can do anything to this team. The Chad steps up, they're A-pressing, but it's futile. Their controller might as well be disconnected. Everybody's getting ripped apart. Otter finally sent back, and now we have signs of life. They might have overextended their welcome, but it's an Overlord Unite move, and they're on the chase. Sobi's low, Sobi's gone. 18-hit KO streak, and is Overlord gonna let them off the hook yet?
I don't know. It's 24 points in pocket. Hard to score those. They want to pull up for a fight, not a score. But Overlord is taking a lot of damage. Chad sees blood in the water, tries to chase it down. But again, the reinforcements from LG, just a little untimely for something like that to happen. And now we have the first set of objectives. Chad pushes in deep, but they're caught out. Great call by Joey.
I mean, completely sussed out by Joey in an instant, right? That was a no-doubter. That was red in the crystal ball. That was red in the tarot cards. And that was another Pokemon down. Luminosity knows exactly where these kittens are going to be, and they're dragging them to the pound.
And this is what I'm talking about, that in this build of Mamoswine, you don't really need its Unite move often. The value that it gets from Ice Fang and the durability it has just from its roll, so strong.
Well, immediately a portal is down to see if anybody can get put through. Nope, the Ice Fang is going to isolate that Pokemon fast enough and let Overlord get the KO. And what is new here is Overlord is level 11, full HP, biggest thing on the map, and is just eviscerating any person on the EKittens that steps up.
Yes, Overlord, they did nerf your Zoroark before Worlds, but they gave you Blue Shifu back? So I don't know, I mean, maybe all's fair in this trade, I'm not too sure. Regieleki is going to land and put that goal zone at 1. Picture perfect math from Luminosity Gaming, exactly what we would expect from the criminal, as they are going to take every wild Pokemon before they despawn, and that's a 39-point overdunk.
Yep, and that's what we like to call a problem in the biz, Zoinks. EKittens are looking at a problem that I don't think they have the resources or the knowledge to deal with right now. Certainly if they do, they haven't employed any of it, because Luminosity is just running through them like a wrecking ball. They're just saying everybody all at once. Whoever's in our way, take them out. Let's just score more points. Let's win ourselves a game. And I can't believe we're just now hitting the 5-minute mark. It feels like we've been in this one for an eternity.
Yeah, I mean, EKittens probably feeling that pressure a little bit more than us here in the booth, but they, at the moment, have decided to just rest easy, take as much wild Pokemon as they can. Obviously, these goal zones breaking have spawned quite a few of those, but it has been a difficult reach. That is a Meteor Mash Metagross, and, of course, the Absol that we've seen before. They love finding a single target on its own. Luminosity Gaming hasn't been giving them that, except with this Unite.
What an engagement. We're going to put the Fire Blast on the ground, and we're just going to go straight for them, popping their Unite move as well. And now they have to use everything back the other way to the EKittens just to try and keep Curios down. JL feeling so much confidence. They're stepping up as the Cotton Ball into a ring of fire. They don't care. They're going for it. 4 players on EKittens down, and don't forget, this started on a 4v1 engagement out of Curios, and now they're going to scrub the whole team.
Yeah, Charizard can buy a whole lot of time with that Unite move and impact with a lot more damage as well. Banzo is able to out-secure Overlord, but he takes that blue buff right back.
Yeah, you can secure the wild Pokemon. I'll secure your career, and I'll send you back to the Pokemon Center.
Yeesh. Yeah, I mean, you hate to get fired on the job from an Urshifu, but sometimes that's what it takes. Overlord definitely large and in charge, it seems.
Yeah, pretty much the EKittens sleeping on the job here, and I don't think they were ready for this wake-up call because it's come in violently. 258 to 48, 210-point differential here. Regieleki swimming its way towards the EKittens Tier 2, and we're going to see how Luminosity looks to push here. They certainly have the level advantage, and they can push this if they want.
100%. Yeah, we can force out some Unites both directions. A Pikachu Unite movie responding to the Charizard Unite, but it's Curious Rain and Fire.
That was a perfect Cotton Cloud crash out of JL. They caught everybody back up, separated everyone, let the knockout happen, and I know we didn't see their name pop up for any of those knockouts, but that Cotton Cloud crash literally saved Overlord and Curios at the same time, gave just enough separation, and now they've overstayed their welcome. So JL can't, heal that much, as it turns out, as the EKittens use their Unite moves and go right back to see if they can make something happen. We're going to leave this thing at 1 and quickly get an overdunk. 395, 132.
Hey, that's a big response. I mean, EKittens, we take those. You needed some kind of momentum, or honestly, morale behind you going into these final stretches, and now Muck is trying to stack at, let me check the clock, 230, trying to make sure they are back on that value, but it is now going to be JL and Otter chasing them down. Muck probably not too worried about going down at a moment like this. There's no way their respawn timer is longer than 30 seconds, so they're just chilling.
Yeah, just give yourself up. You might get some of your Unite move back if they didn't already have it. I didn't quite notice. Go down, get your stack, whatever. Get ready for this final fight because you need it.
Yep, exactly. And you gotta know, Can't Stop Him is gonna be holding down that fort on their side. However, Joey's going for a bit of extra positioning.
Immediately with the Ingage, the portal is down and they're peeling back. Sobi's low on HP, but Banzo gets right into the mix. They pop their Unite move, they catch Otter out. That's one player down. This can be something they leverage. Mole putting the Coliseum as a couple players, popping on top of the Umbreon Unite. CSC is there, they're putting JL in the blender. Can they get them down? Charizard is there, and they're looking back the other way. Sobi finally uses their Unite move. Overlord is there for almost 20 hits. Can they hit 20, make it 21? They're legal to drink, and they're drinking the EKittens right now. They are eviscerating them, just Banzo standing, and I don't think Luminosity cares. Otter's back off the respawn. Banzo is going for a flank here. Rayquaza's at half. They need to make a prayer play. They're picking up the speed berry. They going for the Engage. No, it's Curios that secures it for Luminosity.
Absol already using that Unite move to take down the Cramorant, which of course is an important target, but just not enough firepower to take down the Rayquaza as well. Overlord's Urshifu is just so terrifying. What a devastating force for LG. It pops off in this game number 1, and I mean, I don't care how many shields that Umbreon or that Metagross get in that moment. Urshifu is hitting below all of them with that true damage, and they are putting up numbers. 14 knockouts for Overlord.
I'm just looking at this, and I can't imagine how that fight might have been different if the rest of the 8 minutes, EKittens were able to keep just a little bit more parity. Because they caught Otter instantly. Muck had an amazing Unite move, which CSE got a phenomenal foul play into their own Unite move, and they had Sobi with the follow-up there too. So EKittens executed a perfect Rayquaza strategy, but I think they were just a little shy on levels to be able to actually convert those to knockouts. And once the kind of storm was over, LG looked around and goes, oh, we still are up. We still can. We have all our buttons to press pretty much. Yeah. And they pressed all the buttons, and it totally worked out.
We still got buttons. They have no more buttons. We win because of buttons. I think that is how the math goes sometimes. And it worked out extremely well for them in that series. So, Luminosity Gaming now on tournament point for our Mayhem event. 1 up in our series. Whereas EKittens are on the back foot. If they win these next 2 games in a row, they of course win the $100 cash prize for this evening, as well as an invitation to next week's finals night. Luminosity Gaming just a little bit closer to that objective, though, after, well, a pretty dominant game number 1 win. Scary stuff in that Rayquaza fight when Otter goes down, but, I mean, Urshifu into that composition, I can't say it enough. If the fight is not over until Overlord is KO'd, right? Like, I think that we saw that in the Happy Humper sets as well. Like, that player is just so phenomenal, and they can turn fights alone. And especially with powerful Pokemon like this Urshifu. We saw him on Ceruledge before. We saw him on the Blaziken. If that thing punches or kicks, you're going to be just fine.
Yeah, if it's a melee brawler and Overlord's on it, you got a real chance with the team here. I want to point out Joey's really strong Mamoswine play. I liked how aggressive they were to kick off that fight. It almost kind of swung the other direction. But what they did is they forced action. And the best thing you can do against a team that is trying to fight from underneath is to force them to fight, right? Is to try and engage on terms that they're not ready for, because they're already at such a disadvantage that if you take away their impetus, then they can't have actually the best fight they can cobble together, which to me is even more impressive, Zoinks, on how good of a fight EKittens were able to have there given those circumstances.
True. This isn't true always, but it's true a lot. Rayquaza's only a flip if you allow it to be a flip, right? And Luminosity Gaming, in a game state position that they were in, were never going to allow that to be a flip. And the way they do that is they take early space, and then they take even more space. They get that early vision, they see CSE walk into that bush, I think they see Chad go into that corridor bush, and that's the moment for Joey to strike. They push up so aggressively because they know they're favored in a fight. They lose one, they don't lose much. And we go into game number 2.
All right, EKittens going to be on the purple side here, making Luminosity kind of be the reactionary drafters.
All right. Yeah, well, before we've seen, I'm going to call it an identical strategy from Luminosity in every single game we've seen them, with the Mimikyu ban and the Slowbro ban to allow themselves to take that Charizard. That is going to be stifled immediately, as EKittens are going to use their first ban on Charizard themselves. Now, I'm wondering if EKittens are going to go back to that Ceruledge dupes next. They have been banning it in every game we have seen from them so far tonight. But we'll see. It sounds like they're willing to leave the Ceruledge on the table and instead ban out that Urshifu.
Yeah, I would ban it out too after what just happened to us last game, you know what I mean? But that doesn't mean, like, you're never cutting off Overlord from a good choice. That's something you just have to come to terms with, right? So you got to have a strategy on how do we isolate Overlord, and it looks like Chad is letting the Sableye rip and roll. Man, maybe not. As a first pick, that'd be kind of crazy. Locking in Ceruledge makes much more sense here.
Yeah, okay. And by the way, I think we might see our first Bitter Blade of the night. I know that Muck is an enjoyer of that move, so we might see that yet again. It's interesting with the Urshifu ban. I think that kind of leans into we can build a more tanky composition and feel confident in it, especially if Charizard's gone too. However, I think LG responded really nicely by banning away that Umbreon. I think it was a creative decision. It's where we've seen CSE play a lot of, and of course they like that bulky option. They are going to get another one though with that Crustle, but a little bit different in gameplay stats. We might see Sobi go for a more aim intensive attacker this time around with those walls to play around.
Yeah, I really liked Sobi's Sylveon. I gotta be honest, that looked really good in the game we were playing. I wouldn't mind seeing that come back here.
That'd work great into this comp, honestly. I think Sylveon's a great call to use next.
Otter, unsurprisingly, back on the Cramorant, almost in Cram jail, it feels like. Like, if it's there, Otter's playing it type situation.
Okay, but they locked themselves there and threw away the key. Okay, Otter loves Cram jail.
It is arguably way more fun than the OG, like, Eldegoss jail, right?
Yes, true. Where JL seemingly has put themselves.
Looks like Banzo going to be picking up the Greninja, maybe a switch with Muck depending on how the last pick shakes out. But Sobi going with Mew, which I don't hate either.
Yeah, it's a Pokemon that has received a host of nerfs, right? It has been challenging. I do think it's seen more Surge, or at least it should be seeing more Surge in play thanks to its pretty strong Unite into a few of the big team fight options that are out there. But I know that one thing people have been liking it a lot for is the kind of the move to coaching on Mew a ton. The HP regain on coaching alongside a lot of the Pokemon in game right now that heal themselves is extremely strong. And I think with Banzo playing this Ceruledge, maybe some Bitter Blade, maybe some coaching action, we can see another duo build again. It's not the Sylveon and the Absol, but maybe the Ceruledge Mew can have similar results.
But welcome back to the map. Muck on Greninja. Felt it last time, feeling it this time. Bring it back, why not? Your back's against the wall, and you need to make some magic happen. And of course, the gutter pick, Curios on the Gyarados.
Ooh, okay. I don't think we've gotten to see Curios play this Pokemon. We obviously haven't seen them for very long. Notable, not felon. I can't go that far. Notable criminal Curios. But I'm excited to see them on the Flying Fish. Obviously, a really cool Pokemon that we have not seen competitively for a while. I don't think in any weeks of Mayhem we saw very much Gyarados, but now, finally in week number 3, we are seeing a resurgence of Gyarados. Very, very cool. Love watching this Pokemon. Its team fight potential is unbelievable. Its 1v1s are nice too. There's not too much that it needs to bounce out of in the enemy composition, right? Usually you're picking it because you don't want to get CC'd a bunch because it's a nice unstoppable trigger. But in this case, it feels like the Gyarados is going to be solely for some team fight action.
I'm looking at LG here, and Joey has the opportunity to just wet fart everything that the EKittens try to do with this Slowbro Unite, man. Like, this Slow Beam can just absolutely gut any ounce of excitement that the EKittens can bring, and we might just see that, right? I mean, Slowbro was a very good pick for Luminosity, and Joey is not looking to lose out on money through one 10-minute game.
Yeah, no, I mean, they have not played their signature Trevenant, but they've been having a lot of fun on these other power picks. Are we really seeing the decline of Tree in real time? Some crazy things out here. But another crazy scene is this Froakie that's been hanging out in the top path, Muck playing it there so that Banzo can get that quick level 5 on the Ceruledge.
Pressure on downstairs. Now they're going for a 3-person push. Is LG right into the face of Sobi and CSE, just trying to get their points in quickly. They're successful, and there's that Slowbro with a nice little surf. You know that's my favorite Zoinks, without a doubt. A surf spacing, gonna let Otter get out of jail, and Joey's looking to get there, and we know Curios has already been let out because they're playing in this tournament.
Otter not out for free, though. They did lose access to their eject button. Joey gonna take some of that extra damage from those wounds from Ceruledge. That weak armor passive working out great for them already. Boosted auto attack brings so much damage, and I think that is Psycho Cut yet again. All right, people hate defenses. Let's make defenses go away. I'm all in.
Well, Floopy flopping around, bouncing around, of course, is the Magikarp. Curio goes down to the water type on the other side. Muck getting credit for a knockout here, but Luminosity still up 39-0.
Yeah, I mean, EKittens happy about that signature moment. They actually had some good looks on both top and bottom side. Now, if you're able to hold Curios down for a little bit longer, that's great. Also, I did say he spun on him. I don't know if he meant to, but if he did, it looked awesome. He's styling. Not a Greninja quite yet, but just one level away on this Frogadier at 6.
Well, these middle birds can make a difference as Ceruledge pops in and looks for the action. They're straight into the backline. Surf with a little bit of separation is going to help. CSE is trying to X-Scissor off, and Sobi's trying to retreat as well. They are going to make it just to a berry, but the collat is on CSE as they had to just fall on the grenade for the rest of the team.
Yeah, I think fair trade. Oof. That's a lot of damage. I mean, now that this Gyarados has hit the map, Curios is able to start dominating. Finally going to get some stacks in. They were not able to stack against Muck's Greninja on the top side, but the punishment is there. Otter goes down. Banzo shredding through some of these enemy targets quickly.
I mean, Sobi bending over, tying their shoes in the middle of the street, getting hit by a car, taking a moment to throw a solar beam, getting hit by a Gyarados. Now we're going to jump right back. We've got a Rock Tomb up and a nice X-Scissor by CSE. Going to get a quick knockout. 2 players down instantly. Good opportunity here for the Kittens. They need to get some points, and if they can, right into the back line is Banzo getting a KO streak of 2. But right back the other way is JL to start A-pressing and see if they can stem this tide.
EKittens trying to wheel check JL there for a little bit, see if they can spread out and score, but JL, notably, if you saw their Twitter, very good at defending goal zones against multiple targets, holds that one down. So that will be a Reggie completely taken by the EKittens without Muck's help, who's been hanging out on the top side this entire map right now. However, Luminosity Gaming finally taking a push onto that side. Hoopa gonna bring the whole squad there, but it's a tough fight.
Quick rotation, Chad goes down, but Muck has an open door opportunity. They're going straight after Otter, they get that KO. However, Curios immediately pivots on them, and so does Overlord, dispatching Muck swiftly.
Okay, I mean, Banzo and CSE taking their sweet time in the middle of the map to join that fight. I'm sure Sobi's saying some choice words in the comms right now as they all left at 1 HP from that fight. Or at least I think it was Otter and JL did. But either way, they're going to be rocking up for this fight. Overlord's Blaziken looking pretty terrifying at double digits right now. But Banzo is matching in the level department.
The goal zone left at 1. Good opportunity for LG, and Curios just dives on top of Greninja once and just absolutely drowns him. Regieleki is secured. X's are to try and get the space, but we're going straight for the engagement here. We're into the backline. The goal zone is broken quickly, and now Regieleki's flying towards tier 2. Into the backline is Banzo finding a target. Otter gets blended, doesn't get knocked out because Overlord cuts off Banzo. Like, what a just tick-for-tat play there out of these two teams.
A series of unfortunate events for Banzo in there. I mean, the Unite move to try to chase Curios, like, barely clips a wall and unfortunately stops them in place. Overlord takes a lot of damage, but Muck's got their work cut out for them if they want a full KO at level 11 Blaziken, and they are not going to be able to pull it off. I mean, a lot of value gained. I think they did sneak in and get one knockout in that moment, but it's not much. That's a Unite move expended for it as well, so this basement Reggie fight will be lacking a Greninja Unite unless Muck can hyper farm, but I don't see that happening in the next few seconds.
No, and all of Luminosity is converging, right? They're leaving Curios up top. The other 4 players are going, and it's going to be tough for EKittens to contest, even if all 5 players were showing up. Luminosity just has all their Unite moves. They're ready to use them. It's a great opportunity, too. Otter shutting down the Chad, not going to let any Hoops Unbound shenanigans occur, as Curios is babysitting up top. A very good Luminosity strategic employment here.
Yeah, a good push by Curios to push really far forward to get some vision that allows Otter to know they're free and in the clear to get a small score. Sobi Solar Beam, despite its range, not able to clip that scoring Pokemon, so it does not stop that score, and the lead keeps on ticking up for LG. A little bit slower than in the last game, but still slowly making its way up.
A little bit damage farming happening here as they're pulled out with the Hoops Unbound just to try and counter score. They see that Overlord is putting 50 in their goal zone. They're trying to get some of it back right now. We're jumping on top. We clip up 3. Chad is trying to stun them, but we're still moving. JL takes to the sky, is going to try and heal up the squad. They're successful. Curios lands for 2 more. They're still in the mix. Finally, we're going to blitz the Reledge Unite into the Cramorant Unite, but it's not enough. Not enough at all, Zoinks.
Oh, Sarah Ledge almost able to turn that moment. I mean, honestly, EKittens getting punished for greed pretty hard there. Muck had 23. The goal zone was on 24. At some point, the call must have been told to stop the score to allow Muck to score first. Muck does get their dunk in, but they don't get that 40 or 50 that they were attempting with Banzo. So, I mean, yeah, it could have been a bigger overdunk, and maybe you're set up for it later, but still, rough look.
Rough look indeed, but there's still some time left, and the point differential isn't as bad as what it kind of feels like this game would make you think it would be.
Yeah, it's been looking like LG pretty much the entire time, outside of maybe a few moments in the early game that you kids were putting up some good looks. Banzo does get a Psycho Cut debuff onto the Slowbro. Muck tries to take advantage, but again, this poke damage is solid, but with Eldegoss there to heal, Slowbro's natural defenses, that is going to be all restored by the time we get closer to the final stretch.
Yeah, 40 seconds until that final stretch. Luminosity moving very well across the map to try and isolate EKittens from this basement Reggie, and it looks like that's going to be a pretty easy task for them at this point in time.
Yeah, it's just too big of a risk for EKittens to try to play that. You maybe could do some Hoopa shenanigans with a dive in and reposition, but will not be the play call. Instead, it will be forfeiting that objective. Muck and CSE go for a peek, but all they see is a knocked out Reggie.
10 seconds till Ray. Zoinks. Luminosity is already kitted up, ready to go. Both tier 1 still standing, so maybe EKittens can do some cheeky scoring shenanigans and then pull everybody back through with Chad.
Yeah, a potential option, but it's also tough to score on those with how quick LG can rotate to defend them. It's a give and take kind of situation, always risk versus reward. Early poke damage into Ray is there from the Mew. EKittens might be looking at a little bit of a Ray angle.
Yeah, well, now we immediately have to catch a portal back. Muck runs past it. Ceruledge Banzo goes for a score, but now Luminosity is finding everybody. They're jumping right on top of Chad. They're trying to separate CSE from the rest of the team. They're successful. Banzo's half HP, and Overlord's just on the chase. Dog chasing a bone right there, going after it. CSE steps up to get caught in a blender. They're pulling everybody back through. Rayquaza's at half. Otters Unite can't quite touch it. We're in the middle. We're going for the rip, and Sobi clutches it out for the Kittens. Now they just need to score. They've got all the shields in the world. JL is trying to A-press down Sobi, but now it's burger time, and Muck gets the first order in.
Okay, Chad on some absolute movement shenanigans in that moment. Last I checked, it was Blaziken or Overlord hunting them down on the top side of the map, trying to get that KO, but through some Phantom Force and ejects, I'm not too sure. Somehow the Hoopa ends up rotating towards that Rayquaza, drops the portal. I mean, great look, and now all of a sudden EKittens have an advantage to work with. 45 seconds remain. They have an over 200-point lead. LG got their work cut out for them, but Overlord already started with the KO on the Banzo.
Nice little portal down. The Chad's just going to try and fake the rotations here. Overlord goes to the score. CSC is there. It looks like they're still holding their shield. Overheat as well. Otter takes a ton of damage of Muck's shurikens. Now we're going to go for a reset here. We're going to pounce into the back line. Rock Tomb is up to separate everybody. Surf back through by Joey to just try and get all the spacing they need. Can actually somebody score? That's the question. I'm taking a look. Finally, Gyarados gets 48 in, but that's a shade from what they actually need. Zoinks, 10 seconds left. EKittens just need to maintain this defense, and I think they got it.
Muck puts up 3 in that final moment. Kyrios might be able to take down that raid boss Greninja, but it's not going to be enough. Otter goes down as well as CSE tacks on another knockout for the stats page, and our series is all tied up.
Man, that was all the way through, right? You mentioned it. They jump on top of CSE. They jump on top of Banzo. They jump on top of Chad. Chad is able to dip out of dodge. CSE goes over the wall to insulate Banzo from getting knocked out by Overlord.
Yeah.
CSE catches the receipt of this just maniacal chase down out of Luminosity, which lets, like you mentioned, Chad get back to the middle, pull Banzo through, and have the rip start because Muck was never with everybody else. He was just A-pressing Rayquaza down. So when everybody rolled through and you take a look at Ray and it's already under 50%, it was just pandemonium into the middle. And where was Overlord to try and get the secure? On Jupiter.
Yeah, I mean, all the way out there because of all the work of the defenders and the supports. I mean, LG make the right play call there, right? It is chase down the Hoopa and knock them out. That is priority number 1. That is the only way that things get a little scary outside of Muck completely soloing a Ray, which almost also did happen, I suppose. But I do think that it was absolutely the correct decision from that squad. They come up short, though. Chad is able to outmaneuver, outdeke that entire squad and roll up with the red carpet to the secure Ray moment. Honestly, fantastic work from Chad's Hoopa. I mean, MVP for sure in that moment. Maybe a little bit of accreditation going to Sobi's Mew for that last second secure. But either way, EKittens tying this up, and now we have a real race for our final qualifier week 3 champion spot on the line between EKittens, DM me please, and Luminosity Gaming.
10 minutes separates one of these teams from next week and this week's $100. Zoinks. What did we just watch, my friend? I mean, I know it kind of fell apart at the end for LG, kind of like tore apart at the seams here. What can LG do to adjust? Is there anything they actually need to adjust?
Well, I don't know about that Slowbro pick. I think it looked good throughout a lot of the moments in the game. I don't know what we were looking to lock down. I liked the Mamoswine a lot better from Joey in previous games. However, I don't really know if that was maybe make or break. Honestly, that is a make or break it situation instead in that final stretch. The inability to knock out Hoopa, I think, is the biggest problem in that fight. You allow Hoopa to get back a Unite move into that Rayquaza. I mean, the game is almost lost at that point, basically on principle. So we can't allow that to happen again. I think that's the biggest thing. Other than that, I don't know if there's much we can shore up in draft. It felt like really solid from Luminosity Gaming. Otter's been popping off on that Cramorant. I thought it was looking really, really good in that last game. In fact, they were able to completely lock down the bottom path against Sobi's Mew. That was not even really a problem for them to deal with. However, maybe we can respect the Sarah Ledge a little bit on the other side with a ban.
Yeah, maybe a ban. Also, wasn't LG just earlier this evening banning Hoopa every single time?
LG, maybe. Sorry, what tournament were you asking about?
Literally like 2 sets ago. Their first set of the night against Happy Humpers. I thought they banned Hoopa, or at least Hoopa was banned in that series. Both games.
LG banned Mimikyu and Slowbro both games because they were first picked.
Okay, so the Hoopa was on the other side. Gotcha.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they like their Charizard first pick, and now Luminosity Gaming has elected to be back in first pick position. So,
okay,
a little terrifying. That strategy that's worked out very well for them all tournament long is going to be available for them yet again. That first pick does allow you to ban away the Mimikyu and Slowbro and force your opponent to respect your Charizard game plan enough to ban away the Charizard themselves. Last game was getting a little scared. They banned it away, but they also banned that Urshifu. They did not want to deal with that one. I wonder if we see that again for the EKittens. I mean, it worked, but, like, did it work? I'm curious.
But, like, did it? Yeah. But, I mean, being in the first position allows you to ask a lot of questions. When you have a team, like LG, a player like Overlord, that you can't really take away a prime pick, right? You just kind of put them on a different good pick. Mm-hmm. It makes the draft phase difficult. Of course it does. So, if I'm LG here, what maybe I'm considering is like, man, we kind of got dipsker dude by the Hoopa. That feels like a problem. Do we care about anything else? Maybe not. On the other hand, the Kittens, they've got to be thinking, okay, kind of got away with one. I think Urshifu still needs to be locked down. But where else do we go?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, man, I don't know. Hey, Greninja has worked a whole lot for Muck. I think we are now 2-0 on Greninja games. Maybe we return to that, but if this is ever a game for Overlord to ego pick the Greninja away from the EKittens, I hope it happens in this game in particular.
Overlord has never shied away from ego picking somebody at any moment in time.
True.
Just being gassed up and upset, just ready to go. Quickly, it's Mimikyu, Slowbro, Urshifu, and EKittens got the last opportunity to lock something in here. It looks like it might be Blaziken as Banzo is hovering that. We'll see what actually gets locked in.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to let Charizard through, I suppose. So EKittens, they, in previous position, elected to ban that Charizard. They are going to let it through this time around. So Curios will be returning to the big terrifying Pokemon these days in the central area. This last time in this position, though, that did let EKittens get kind of everything they wanted with the support. So they got that Umbreon, and I believe they got that Hoopa as well.
Yeah, first pick Hoopa here makes a ton of sense. Chad has been great on it this evening, so don't even leave it up to chance because JL would love to get themselves a Hoopa. Quickly, Muck grabs Sarah Ledge. Banzo might take that. Muck might take that. It depends how the rest of the draft goes. Joey on Umbreon, something of concern.
Yeah, I mean, it's been so strong. Running that Aos cookie, going for a little bit more of that late game presence rather than that Resonant Guard benefit that we've seen some players pick up on it for more early game pressure. Now CSE is going to have an interesting defender choice. They have went with Crustle before, but they are actually going to swap it up to Snorlax. Very interesting. It has been a hot minute since I have seen some of this Pokemon. I do love Snorlax, one of the best counters to Cramorant's Unite move that ever works, but Luminosity Gaming, going back to the old haunts. That is a Zoroark, and that is a Comfey.
Nerfed who now? Overlord doesn't care. Zoroark, Comfey, lock it down. And it put Banzo in a bit of a precarious situation here because, it can't really be... I was going to say, it can't really be the Absol into that. It doesn't necessarily feel like that makes sense when you've got the Umbreon there to pull up for the smoke. But I like where they ended up with this Dodrio, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, this is obviously a favorite of Banzo. We've seen them play this Pokemon in online tournaments and in LAN environments. So obviously a very, very solid pick for them no matter what. And it will have shades of what we saw in that earlier dominant game from EKittens back in their first set, where we had that Sylveon to soften up the squad and the Speedster to finish things off. Previously, of course, it was that Absol. Now we're going to play it with the Dodrio. Seeing the Charging Charm makes me think we're going with Drill Peck, and I don't really see a reason to not. I think you go with Drill Peck in this fight. I think it looks sick.
I agree. Go scrap. Go scrap a little bit. Play
Yeah.
it like you did your Absol before. Let Sobi, again, be on this Mystical Fire, Draining Kiss build. Lead the charge with you. Isolate a target, and then follow up on it. So, EKittens put together a heck of a squad here. I like how they reacted to the Luminosity draft. Now it's just about pressing your buttons.
I don't know how to feel about the Snorlax. I really don't. I mean, early game is going to be really nice. Of course, Umbreon has a pretty slow start to that early game. Foul play helps a little bit these days. I meit back when you were running Mean Look everywhere, you're like level 6 was what you were hoping for, right? When you got your secondary move. But, at level 4, Foul Play being there is a little bit more relevant, but Snorlax should be able to out-secure an Umbreon and a Cramorant in most engagements, especially when they got that Sylveon eventually joining the fight, but looks like Can't Stop 'em might have other things on their mind outside of maybe the laning phase.
Yeah, they're actually watching for the Chad invade, but they're sending Banzo and CSE here. Oh, can they able to... Oh, that was so close. That was a good little attempt there. As now, CSE, meanwhile, has been working on the Cecilgore, which means Banzo can just come in, A, press it, or B, press it, take it down. Slow Smoke is there. They're trying to put pressure on Banzo. CSE cuts it off. And now Comfy, JL, getting tons of damage rained in on them just by existing.
Yeah, seeing that Comfy that low might make my heart skip a beat, but I do think the idea to back off of it was the correct one. If you allow Overlord to turn and pick up a low HP target, all of a sudden, you probably have level 6 Zoroark at first flank, and that is not something you want to have to deal with, so good call on the patience from both Banzo and CSE.
And Muck doing a good job limiting in the top path. Curious in the top path as well. Hasn't hit Charmeleon yet, while everybody else on the EKittens is right on the doorstep of evolving. Here comes Overlord carrying the Comfy, going straight into the mix. They're trying to put Banzo in a blender. Is there a slow smoke there? No, but there's tons of damage in. And Muck stepping up to maybe sacrifice themselves. Is a little astonished by Chad. Gives them the support they almost needed as they are eviscerated quickly. Chad with a nice Astonish stun to save themselves.
Yeah, they're going to hold down the fort there for a minute, and I've been talking about it all night long, but I'm very happy it has finally happened. It is the Bitter Blade from Serledge, so the ability to turn a losing situation into a positive one solo is available for this Pokemon, but it is not an easy task, especially when that is a Zoro-Comfey combination on the other side. They can KO you before you even get the chance.
Sobi with a nice little KO on Otter, and that does let Banzo get out, which is solid, so they can start working in the middle. They drill peck right through all of those. Nice engagement by CSE to give the spacing that really the Kittens needed there, just so their heavy players can hang out. Heavy slam again through the reset. CSE's playing very well tonight.
Yeah, they have been locked onto the enemy targets with that Snorlax. I mean, even that one just to get back into the portal and, of course, make that fight a little bit sketchier for LG. Muck will chase down that target with them just outside of Bitter Blade range. That means there's no healing available, and they will fall.
Fall they did indeed, and that's going to let Overlord keep growing as they are level 8 ticking over, scoring points. Otter is now in support. We've got the Draining Kiss going, Mystical Fire is as well. And because of that, Banzo is going straight for Otter in the back line. They can't quite close the door. They're low on HP. They're peeling back. The Chad has the portal down, but it's for themselves here. Oh, Otter! Excuse me, not Otter. Overlord going down to Sobi. That is a key KO for them, and that lets Muck step up with Chad in tandem. As Curios is there to try and stifle anything that's going on, and they are very successful.
Oh, sick Hurricane from Otter. I mean, if they don't hit that ability, I do think that both those targets are able to escape, but, I mean, yeah, Overlord going down is huge from Sobi JL, just a moment away from attaching to that Zoroark before that final hit of the Mystical Fire got the KO, but now it's time for Charizard to go to work.
Yep, Unite move immediately eviscerates some targets here. Sobi goes down, of course, after that Unite move and just burninating all of that tall grass. Muck is back. We're going to see what they can do here. Doesn't look like they're worried about scrapping too much.
Yeah, they do give up that bottom Reggie, though, but in exchange for getting the Charizard Unite out, not the worst thing in the world, and it's actually going to be EKittens putting pressure on this bottom side still. Dodrio and Sylveon are also on the way.
Yeah, nice little blade maneuvering there by Muck to step up through the Phantom Force and look at some prime targets. But now we have Unite moves popping, and we have the Comfy setting down the tall grass for the quick heals. And Overlord pops out of those tall grass for a big surprise as Otter uses their Unite move. We're gulping, we're gatling, we're missling everywhere. And now we're forcing the EKittens back towards their home base.
Yeah, Chad can't go in that portal because they need to be there to stop the score attempts, whereas Banzo and Sobi can put up a mean fight, but it's only going to last so long as finally another goal zone is broken in this series, this time by LG.
We're going for Grass Knot here out of JL on this Comfy, which is right there, able to isolate a prime target in Sobi and get another knockout for Overlord. Level 11 before the 5-minute mark. This thing is starting to slide in a rough way, Zoinks.
Yeah, they just haven't been able to shut it down outside of maybe that one Sylveon fight that Sobi was able to put together. But other than that, it has been Overlord just kind of going around in God mode, untouched. Banzo is going to drill back. I think they were looking for the Zoro, but they found Joey in the tall grass instead. Not a target you want to find, not an Umbreon, especially not with a defense buff.
You can just see Overlord is just hanging out, being a menace, seeing Sobi step up, and Sobi's instantly gone, forcing out the Unite move, trying to get into the backline. Overlord's below half HP. They'd love to get a little bit of healing out of their Comfy here. Joey there to cut off and just be a distraction, allow the rest of LG to get out of dodge, but it's Muck straight into the backline, able to find at least a couple targets before they're dispatched of themselves.
Yeah, it feels like Otter on this Cramorant's almost just become, like, key bait for the enemy team to take. I mean, we're diving very deep a lot of the time to KO this mage, but just doesn't look like it's enough in a huge Unite combo. Just a little bit late on the Snorlax to try to save everybody.
Snorlax gets pulled up by the Charizard Unite, immediately set on their feet quickly, but the wall can be out. The block is attempted. The rings are unbound. The stuns aren't really there, though. The Grass Knot isolating the EKittens counter push, at least for a moment, as the rest of Luminosity is there. Okay, we're drill pecking. We're running at him with the Unite move. That forces out the Cram to just guard this goal zone with their Unite, and I think that's a very great one-for-one switch-up.
Oh, Muck, just a moment too late to get in that Hoopa portal to reset, and yeah, I like that play call to take that fight, but with no defensive Unite for the Snorlax from CSE anymore, you can't really put a shutdown to that Cramorant Unite, and despite another nice heavy slam attempt, that will be another objective going in the favor of Luminosity Gaming, as did the fight prior.
Banzo, level 12, and of course, level 12 on Overlord, but surprisingly, Curios, level 13, and now on a mission, they're the ones carrying the Comfy, as Joey's getting some decent vision for the team, eating a bunch of Mystical Fires and Draining Kisses, really just seeing if they can lure anybody into the deep waters so that Charizard can burn.
They could also play forward to try to prevent Banzo from getting a nice Drill Peck steal of one of their teammates as well, right? As long as you are up front and center, you're the one that's going to be absorbing that pushing damage. So, good early play calls by Joey.
Nice heavy slam to try and make some magic happen, and they're able to leverage a KO at least on Joey quickly. However, Curios is still here, picks up a berry, and now Sobi goes down because this fire is just too darn hot. The block is out to at least let Banzo trying to engage on Curios. Nice little stun, but after that, it's a half HP Otter switch up, and they're going to get a KO.
Oh, I see what Banzo's going for there. If you're able to knock out level 14 Curios, you're definitely feeling a little bit stronger into that final fight, but that will not work out for them at all. In fact, great shutdown by Otter and Curios working together, and they are gone. So with 25 seconds remaining, that is a Regieleki that landed in that tier 2. Not many scores, if any, but LG not too worried about that. They're almost at 300 points right now, heading into our final stretch.
10 seconds left. Luminosity, gonna make sure they're all farmed up. Let's take a look at the levels here. We've got Overlord at 14. We've got Curios at 14. However, Banzo not very far behind. Nice little suss out by Chad to use the Phantom Force to pop them out of their hiding hole.
Yeah, good call. They're going to abandon position a little bit, or at least the Cramorant will. Joey showing no fear on this Umbreon. Wants to make sure that they have all the space in the world and also gain vision of that corridor without, in fact, revealing themselves. And, of course, if someone takes that jump pad, they're going to feel the wrath of the Umbreon.
Muck immediately caught by Joey. We're going to see if they can get Joey. They engage. Heavy slam pushing to the wall. Tons of it. Forces out the Unite move. And we're going to be able to flip the script there as Overlord's in the backline. They're on top of Chad. Rings are unbound. The fists are getting stunned. We're pulling through the portals. We're looking for targets. And Muck is the first one down. Now we're burning everybody from the skies. Here's Charizard's looking for the next target. Like there's something out of Breath of Fire. Now they're going back through. Still stunning. We're tall grassing. We're using all our moves here, but it's really the EKittens that are sent scrambling. Comfy getting credit for one. JL. Everybody getting the mix. Give him a KO streak of 2. Why not? The flower comp is happening. Call it the Comfy comp. We're doing everything here, Zoinks. EKittens can do nothing but scramble as they're trying to get burgers eaten in their face.
All right, well, there's a minute left on the map, and all of a sudden they've found offense beneath them. Curios can be the main target. Dat Boy Muck will take them out, so that's one member down with 35 seconds, but it's immediately responded to by Overlord.
Overlord just hanging out, waiting for them to come back through, and that's a KO Shrika 2 instantly because Overlord is level 15 and they are working off that high octane energy. And they're a little upset that JL just got a KO Shrika 2 in that last fight after doing all the work, right? So go back up. Sobi, you're the next one on the chopping block. You are the weakest link. Goodbye. There we go. We're going to get a true burger in here. 425 to 106. Luminosity is just moments away from winning week 3 of Unite Mike's Mayhem.
Yeah, 20 seconds remain, and nobody from EKittens are really in scoring position. Only CSE, but Otter holding the line. VChat brings the squad in towards the Rayquaza, but a Hoopa and a Snorlax are not known for their burn, their rip, or anything else. It will be Luminosity Gaming holding on to their lead and pushing it forward. CSE just shy, and LG take this thing 2-1.
What a great game. Great game out of LG. I really respected what they were doing. I appreciated the EKittens draft as well, right?
Yeah.
They couldn't quite get the Sobi, Banzo kind of tandem going again. But irregardless, good showing out of them. Luminosity taking this thing 2-1.
Impressive stuff. Curiosus Charizard holding it down game after game. Level leading a lot of the time. 87,000 damage, but it's Overlord on one of their comfort, signature, master, whatever you want to call it, picks. 123,000 damage on that Zoroark. 35% of the squad. Impressive stuff, to say the least.
Very good showing here to close out our grand finals of Unite Mike's Mayhem Week 3. Zoinks, let's button this thing up. Let's get on out of here because we've got our winners week next week.
Absolutely. In the meantime, make sure to check out Kinda Fit, Kinda Fat, and of course Ingage GG, the sponsors of this series. We're super thankful to them. Thankful to everybody behind the scenes making this thing work. But remember, everybody, next week, 1 week from now, July 31st, same time, same place, it is our finals week. Nemesis, the Mighty Ducks, Orange Juicers, and Luminosity Gaming will be contending for $350 total prize pool. It's going to be an awesome event. I know you're going to be there. I'm certainly going to be there. And Dupes Next and his tiny microphone will also be there. We'll see you in 1 week.